Welcome back to Wild Unknown. In nature, the most dangerous things are not always the ones with fangs, claws, or terrifying faces. Sometimes they look like a flower, a fallen branch, or even an animal that appears to be dying. But that is only the performance. Some creatures fake injuries to protect their young. Others turn their own bodies into living traps. And a few can transform so quickly that even the human eye struggles to understand what it is seeing. Today, we are meeting 7 of nature's greatest tricksters, and the animal at number 1 may make you question your own eyes. Number 7, the killdeer, a master of misdirection. Imagine walking across an open field when a small bird suddenly appears in front of you. It stumbles across the ground, flapping one wing as if it has been badly injured and can no longer fly. To a predator, that looks like an easy meal, and that is exactly what the killdeer wants it to believe. The bird is not injured at all. Its wings are perfectly healthy. The entire performance is designed to pull attention away from something far more important. A nest hidden almost invisibly among grass, gravel, or bare ground. The predator follows the helpless-looking bird, convinced that it is closing in on a simple target. But the killdeer keeps moving just far enough ahead, leading the danger farther and farther from its eggs or chicks. Then, when the threat is finally at a safe distance, the act ends. The bird suddenly spreads both wings and flies away, leaving the confused predator behind. What makes this behavior so remarkable is that weakness becomes a weapon. The killdeer survives not by overpowering its enemy, but by controlling where that enemy looks. And if pretending to be injured sounds convincing, the next animal takes the performance even further. It can play the role of a corpse. Number 6, the hognose snake, one of nature's most dramatic actors. At first glance, a threatened hognose snake can look far more dangerous than it really is. It raises its head, flattens its neck like a cobra, hisses loudly, and lunges forward as though it is ready to strike. To anything watching, the message seems obvious. Come closer, and you may regret it. But most of that aggression is bluff. If the performance fails and the threat still refuses to leave, the snake quickly changes roles. It rolls onto its back, opens its mouth, lets its tongue hang out, and becomes completely motionless. Some individuals even release a foul-smelling fluid, making the scene look and smell like a genuine death. The strangest part is how committed the snake becomes. If you turn it upright, it may immediately roll onto its back again, as if being dead only counts when everyone can clearly see its belly. This bizarre act can be effective because many predators prefer living prey and may lose interest in something that appears spoiled, diseased, or already dead. For the hognose snake, survival is not about venom, speed, or strength. It is about making the enemy believe a story. But the next predator does not need to perform at all. It simply stays still, opens its mouth, and waits for dinner to swim inside. Number 5, the alligator snapping turtle, a trap that never needs to chase. Most predators spend energy pursuing their prey. This turtle does almost nothing. It hides on the bottom of slow-moving rivers and lakes, where its rough shell, massive head, and algae-covered body can resemble an old rock that has been sitting underwater for years. Fish may pass within inches of it without realizing that they are swimming beside a predator. Then the turtle opens its mouth. Inside is a small pink structure on its tongue that moves like a living worm. It twists and wriggles in the darkness, creating the perfect illusion of an easy meal. A curious fish notices it, then another. The fish moves closer, focused entirely on the tiny worm, and unaware of the enormous jaws surrounding it. Closer, closer, and in a fraction of a second, the turtle snaps its mouth shut. The attack is sudden, powerful, and almost impossible to escape once the fish is within range. The alligator snapping turtle does not need speed. It does not need to search. It does not even need to hide the entrance to its mouth. Its prey is fooled into entering voluntarily. But if you think disguising a tongue as a worm is clever, the next hunter turns something even more beautiful into a weapon. It becomes a flower. Number 4. The orchid mantis, beauty turned into a deadly illusion. Not every trap in nature is hidden in darkness. Some traps bloom in the sunlight. With pale pink and white legs shaped like petals, the orchid mantis can look astonishingly similar to a delicate flower. Its body blends into the colors and shapes of tropical vegetation, while its slow movements make it appear like a blossom shifting gently in the breeze. To a passing insect, the scene looks safe. More than that, it looks inviting. Bees, butterflies, flies, and other pollinators may approach expecting nectar. They believe they are moving toward a flower. In reality, they are flying directly toward a predator. The mantis remains almost perfectly still until the insect comes within reach. Then its powerful front legs shoot forward with explosive speed, closing around the victim before it has time to understand what happened. The trap works because the prey is not simply failing to notice danger. It is being attracted by the very thing that hides the danger. That is what makes the orchid mantis so remarkable. Its greatest weapon is not size, strength, or venom. It is beauty. In the wild, the most attractive object in sight can sometimes be the last thing an animal ever sees. But the next creature does not use color or flowers. It lives where sunlight disappears completely and turns a single point of light into a death sentence. Number 3, the lionfish beautiful, slow-moving, and almost impossible to ignore. At first glance, the lionfish looks more like a work of art than a predator. Long, flowing fins drift through the water, striped in shades of red, white, and brown. But hidden inside that beauty are venomous spines. A careless touch can deliver an intensely painful sting. And unlike many dangerous animals, the lionfish does not need to chase people or behave aggressively to cause harm. It only needs to be stepped on, grabbed, or approached too closely. Its appearance also helps it hunt. The lionfish moves slowly around coral reefs, spreading its large fins like a living wall. Small fish are gradually pushed toward rocks, crevices, or coral where their escape routes disappear. Then, without warning, the lionfish strikes. Its mouth opens in a sudden burst, pulling the trapped prey inside before it can react. The most deceptive part is how calm the animal looks while doing it. There is no frantic chase, no obvious sign of danger, just an elegant fish drifting peacefully through the reef. But those graceful fins are both a hunting tool and a warning. In nature, beauty can attract attention, and sometimes getting close enough to admire it is exactly where the danger begins. But the next animal does something even more extraordinary. It does not imitate food. It imitates other animals. Number 2. The mimic octopus, the ultimate imposter of the sea. Most animals have one main defense. They may run, hide, fight, or rely on venom. The mimic octopus appears to have an entire collection of identities. When threatened, it can rapidly change the shape of its body, alter its color pattern, and move its arms in ways that resemble other marine creatures. By stretching, folding, or arranging its flexible body differently, it can create the appearance of animals that predators are more likely to avoid. In one moment, it may flatten itself and move like a dangerous flatfish. In another, it can hide part of its body and extend banded arms in a way that resembles a sea snake. It may also imitate the posture and movement of other intimidating or venomous animals. What makes this ability so impressive is that the octopus does not seem limited to a single disguise. It can adjust its performance depending on the situation, changing not only its appearance, but also the way it moves. That is more than camouflage. Camouflage helps an animal disappear. The mimic octopus can make itself appear to be something else entirely. A soft-bodied creature with little armor suddenly becomes an animal that a predator may hesitate to attack. But even this extraordinary shapeshifter is not number one. Because the final animal does not simply borrow another identity, it can transform the entire surface of its body and vanish in front of your eyes. Number 1. The cuttlefish, a master of optical illusion. If nature gave an award to its greatest visual magician, the cuttlefish would be one of the strongest contenders. At first, it may look like an ordinary marine animal drifting above sand, rock, or coral. Then, almost instantly, everything changes. Its skin contains specialized cells that allow it to display different colors and patterns with astonishing speed. Dark bands can appear, disappear, or move across the body. Pale skin can become mottled. Bold markings can fade into the background in moments. But color is only part of the illusion. The cuttlefish can also alter the texture of its skin, creating raised bumps and rough surfaces that help it resemble rock, coral, or the uneven floor of the sea. A smooth animal can suddenly look jagged. A clearly visible body can seem to dissolve into its surroundings. This ability serves many purposes. It can hide the cuttlefish from predators. It can conceal the animal while it approaches prey, and it can produce shifting displays used for communication. What makes the cuttlefish so extraordinary is the speed and precision of the transformation. It does not simply choose one camouflage pattern and remain still. It constantly responds to the environment, adjusting its appearance as conditions change. One moment, it is obvious. The next, your eyes can pass directly over it. In nature, survival does not always belong to the biggest or strongest animal. Sometimes, it belongs to the one that decides what everyone else is allowed to see. Nature does not always reward the strongest. Sometimes, survival belongs to the animal that can make an enemy believe something that is not true. A bird pretends to be injured to protect its young. A snake performs its own death. A tongue becomes a worm. A predator becomes a flower. And deep beneath the ocean, entire bodies transform into illusions. Each animal on this list proves the same thing. Appearance is not reality. If you enjoyed discovering nature's greatest tricksters, leave a like, subscribe to Wild Unknown, and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next journey into the wild. Thank you for watching, and remember, in nature, the thing that looks harmless may be the one fooling you the most.